Go. Hello, welcome. It is Wednesday, April 30th. You're watching Points of the Crown with Steve and James. Welcome to the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Points of the Crown. Like I said, it is Wednesday. We are happy to be here. That was probably my roughest, off the cuff intro. Hey, welcome. I was trying to get Instagram going and everything else. And it's I'm supposed to be talking. The words. It was kind of awful. So, if you're joining us late, better to be fashionably late than show up early and see the shit show. No. But James, how you doing this week, bro?
I am doing good, man. I am finally over being sick, which is great.
That's good. Did that happen between now and last week?
No, I was sick last week too. I don't know. Maybe you couldn't tell too well, but I had that nasally going on. I wanted to cough every 5 seconds. But yeah, dude, I've been sick for it feels like a month, man. It's been awful, but I'm feeling better.
That's good.
Getting things ready for Saratoga Comic-Con this weekend, so I'm excited.
Saratoga. You got anything, a new angle that you're bringing, any new merch or anything this weekend?
Yeah. So, I'm debuting my Alien print.
Yeah,
I did. I knocked this out last week.
That's
did
sweet.
This completely digital.
Nice.
And then I'll also be showing off, not selling, but showing off my card set.
Very nice.
There, but
there we go.
But yeah,
those are sweet, man. Hold up a couple of those closer to the camera.
Sure.
This is what you guys missed out if you didn't back James on his Kickstarter. Check these out. Very cool. Those are legit, man. I like those.
Yep, I even got some ink variants.
Very cool.
Stuff like that. So I see my ink work and stuff. So yeah.
Very cool.
Thanks, man.
Mikhail, what's up?
Yeah, what's up?
Welcome to the show. Dave, what's going on?
Dave.
You guys sound off in the chat if you're hanging out. If you're on Facebook, feel free to comment too. Hit a like or a thumbs up. Or remember back in the day, Facebook it was a really kind of a creepy feature, the poke.
Oh yeah,
you remember that?
It's still floating around. It's just kind of very hidden. I got a poke from something the other day, and I'm like, that's so weird. You can still poke people.
It's kind of creepy, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna poke you. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was when it first came out. This is dating myself a little bit here. I was the MySpace kid. We had a band, and I had the personal page, and we were trying to really show off how cool we were on MySpace. And they started hearing about all these college kids getting on Facebook. And the whole appeal was you had to have, I think it was the actual college email to sign up.
I think so. I think that was probably short-lived, but yeah, it was something like that.
I mean, it was like wildfires. One weekend we're at a party and someone's talking about Facebook. And then the next thing you know, my aunt has it and has asked me why I don't like her,
Yeah, why are we not friends on Facebook?
Dude, I didn't have it for the longest time. I refused. And then I was dating a girl that predominantly used Facebook.
Oh, man.
There's one night we're hanging out. She's got her laptop. She's just typing away and she's asking me these questions. I'm like, what? Where is this coming from? And she spins the laptop. She literally, it's like in a movie. She spins it around. She's like, enter your password. You have an account now. I'm like,
that's funny. You didn't even optionally start your own Facebook. You were forced into it.
Dude, that whole thing with Adam and Eve and the apple, I would be the guy chowing down on apples. Well, I guess that's what I gotta do.
That's funny.
I know. Not to get all Old Testament on y'all. What's up, Chris? Welcome to the chat, my friend.
What's up, Chris?
Are you going to be at Nightmare Weekend? Any of you guys in the chat? I'm going to be at Nightmare Weekend this upcoming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Where's that
at? They're doing a few of them. It's GalaxyCon that puts it on, but it's going to be in Rosemont, just outside Chicago.
Oh, and, nice.
Yeah, I know there's it's a weird mix, man, because like I was taking a look. We'll talk about it later in the show, but we'll see Mikkel there for sure. Awesome. The Nightmare Weekends kind of just feel like a Comic-Con that has a few more horror celebrities.
That's funny.
I've been to like one of them though where there really was an emphasis. Like there was a lot more like creepy stuff out.
Yeah.
But then you turn the corner and then you got my booth and I got Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I do a show here in Buffalo actually where it's like 50-50. The convention center is half horror and half like Comic-Con. It's the weirdest thing ever. But it's weird because like if you want to do the horror side, it's cheaper. So
really?
if you want it, yeah. Well, so they only have vendors on the horror side, but if you want to be a vendor on the horror side, it's like $50 to $100 cheaper per table. And they're like, oh, that would be kind of nice. But then they're like, how many people are going to be over there trying to buy 3D prints or something? You
never know, man. I like Lexington isn't as, I guess, generous with their discounts, but like I know Lexington in particular, like if you're a comic book vendor, you have to show up with short boxes and long boxes. They will give you a discount on those booths.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but Chris, you'll definitely next Wednesday we'll be doing a rundown. I've been thinking about doing like a Monday night stream, just like a quick recap kind of show. Maybe make it like a 45-minute, hour long, just talking specifically about the convention. Because I feel like by the time Wednesday hits, and unless there was some like really juicy stuff, by Wednesday no one cares.
Yeah.
You're talking about last weekend. What's going on this weekend? You know.
Yeah. We gotta get more like clips of these shows. So that's what I'd like to see. Because I try looking up some of these shows and I'm like, I want to check this one out. And then I'm like, and there's no information. No, even the social media pages only highlight when this is obvious, but they only highlight like the busy parts of the show.
Oh, the cosplays and the celebrities or the panels.
Right. They don't take like a video of like what's the show floor look like and how many people are actually there. And very few conventions actually even release how many people were at the show.
I was trying to do that, man. Trying to do like the early, especially because we get in there the day before, like I do the pre-show walk around.
Yeah.
And I was trying to take advantage of having that spot. And there's a lot of work, especially trying to get it up early.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Keeping in mind, you gotta get all the video, all the pictures, and all that other stuff. Yeah.
Edit it down. The real problem is Mac. Just real quick. Someone might need to reach out to me individually, or maybe I just need to watch a YouTube video. But anytime I'll try to edit something on my Mac, it creates this massive cache of like pre-rendered stuff. So like if you put in like the transitions and everything, I'll go from like, okay, this is a 40 megabyte thing to now I've got 300 megabytes of cache.
Yeah.
And my poor Mac just can't handle it anymore. Oof. So yeah, sorry, I interrupted you there though.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah. It sounds like a Mac problem, but probably has something to do with your rendering cache settings.
Yeah.
We can figure that out.
Yeah.
But I would like to. I'm gonna try to make a better effort, to at least to some of the smaller shows that I do, of like doing kind of like a show review. Obviously, not in the sense of like, bad or good, but as far as like highlight some of the points of the show and what does well and talking to other people and stuff. I'd like to do a little bit more of that, a little bit like more of that like vlog style stuff myself. Yeah. But the downside is I don't do many very big shows, so like the value out of that is, it's there. But
yeah, you get started on it though. That's like the first one that I really did was, I think it was at Grand Rapids Comic Con a couple years ago. I did like a pre-show walkthrough. I got like 500 hits.
That's awesome.
I did Baltimore, got like 500 hits.
That's awesome.
And then not much feedback, so I got to be more of a YouTuber and be like, "Yo, guys, let me know what you think about, you know." Hell if I know.
Yeah, we gotta get those pitches down.
Yeah, exactly. Dave says he is going to be at the show Saturday. That's awesome, Dave. We will see you there, my friend.
Nice.
Mikkel says my booth and map is highlighted pink, and it makes me nervous for another.
Uh-oh.
The Mikkel has the worst luck with pillars, poles, electrical equipment, just being sometimes smack dab in the middle of her booth.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's awful. And a lot of times at the shows, like that's a whole nother conversation. What do you do about that? A lot of times at the shows, they're like, sorry, unless someone doesn't show, we got nothing for you.
Yeah. I mean, at least give the person who's got the pole booth a discount. Like,
yeah. And the last thing you want to be is that person at move-in that's like, you screwed me. You know, what can you do for me?
Right.
I've only done it once. And I was polite, but very firm up where I stood on it.
Yeah.
Someone else had just moved into my corner booth, and they had like a 3 long mega booth.
Oh, wow.
I had the corner. They took the corner instead of taking the 3 in line. And that dude was buddies with the showrunner. So now I'm the new guy, the jerk, being like, you took my booth. But yeah, we got to figure it out. They got me another spot. The dude was sweating bullets. He did not want to offend me. Yeah, he's a super nice guy. He was trying to be super nice, and I'm
that's cool.
So I'll give you a discount, like, bud. I drove 5 hours to a very small local show.
Yeah.
If you put me on an inline, I will literally sell nothing this weekend.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that would suck.
Chris says, awesome shirt, Steve. It's a combo of Fred Flintstone shirt and Miami.
That's funny.
It's Dixon. It's got the little Dixon logo all over it.
Oh, okay.
It's a very bold shirt, but it was also laundry day, so it's fun to wear at shows. I got a couple compliments today walking around, so
that's funny.
It's not a normal thing for me.
Shirt.
It's they say I don't know who they are or when they said it, but they say that as a male you should have one thing that's like your peacock feature, like if you wear like a real like a bedazzled hat or something.
I can see that. Yeah. I used to do a fedora. I don't do that anymore.
The fedora. I feel like the fedora got a hard rap.
I don't. People were like really harsh about it, and I'm like, I thought it looked nice. Like it's a nice hat. I don't know what's your problem.
No. I don't know. Anytime I put most hats when I try it on the first time, it just looks so foreign to me. I immediately take it off. I'm like, never again. Never. So fedoras, nice. The little like the caddy caps, whatever you call those.
Oh yeah. Page boy hats.
The newsies.
Yeah. That's funny.
Chris is confirming that Mikkel cannot escape the curse. I feel like Mikkel's been doing better with placements, but even recently, like they had her on the far end of AwesomeCon. Like, and because they had everything so spread out, you look down and you could see her all the way down there. So
yeah,
I don't know how things worked out for her there. We'll see. He doesn't see this. What? You've done something to someone in a past life, apparently. And this is like, so Mikkel is
that's funny.
Has to be placed away from another vendor for the first time ever, and they put me there, and now I feel like I can't ask what the link means. I'm not sure what that means. What the link? See, this is I'm too far behind. Too far behind. I don't know what's going on. And my confirmed AwesomeCon not so awesome for Mikkel. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully Nightmare Weekend. It's a first year show. Hopefully we'll have a great time. And regardless, I will be eating at Caddy Shack at least one day. Bill Murray's is it called Caddy Shack? It's the Bill Murray Brothers restaurant.
Oh, cool.
What the pink means. Speaking of hats, I want to show you something here. We're going to kick off the show with something a little bit different. This dude has been like my YouTube rabbit hole fuel for a while.
Oh man.
And it has been it's something else. This dude, let's share this. Have you heard of Doka Ryan?
I have not.
No. He has like one major shtick, and you're gonna pick up on it real quick here.
Oh yeah.
I'm leaving Shackalicious XL sour gummies and Hennessy for a week. Or until something interesting happens. Everyone said these are way better. I'm not making this up. I got no purple cactuses. Go to hell, Shaq. You know, I said in the last video he missed a lot of his free throw shots. Well, he definitely missed to put the purple in the back.
Nice.
And now we wait. Well, it's been a week, and I really have no clue what's gonna happen.
Have you ever put gummies in any kind of alcohol?
No, I have not. I have put candy corn in vodka before, but that's it. You make that face, but it was really good. It was really good. We made a candy cane shot out of it. It was like vodka, something creamy, and then whipped cream on top. It was good. It was good.
Candy corn is already a divisive subject, and some people can't do vodka because they had a bad experience.
Oh yeah,
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But you decided, you know what, would make this candy corn even better.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Put it in vodka.
Sounds...
That's a rich. That's a retire hooker streak.
At first, I thought I said Hooters. Go to Hooters and get the candy corn.
That's funny.
Yeah. He bought for breakfast energy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I haven't done gummies and bourbon, but my cousin, she always used to make vodka gummy bears.
Oh, cool.
And they would swell up like these little like balls that were probably 3 times bigger.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it just felt like you were eating gross gummy bears with a mouthful of vodka. So, but this guy's whole thing. We'll see how it goes for him.
It smells like every flavor of Jolly Rancher except for grape. Bone apple teeth. For something with incredibly bad texture, this is great. It's time for a shot.
Oh man, it looks like pickle juice.
Miss a shot, Jack. Diboja. This is the wildest, greenest, pineapple-iest. It's like your first legal drink. 6 out of 10.
Okay.
So this guy at this point has hundreds of these, and every time he does it, it's a double shot. But what he'll do is he'll do a live stream where he records like 8 of these at a time.
Yeah.
So he'll do the intro thing so he can get it in the jar, and then he can save it for a week, and that's next week's drink. And he gets all the jars from last week, and he pretty much gets hammered drinking moderately good to amazing to god-awful things. I can't show it because it grossed me out. But recently he did a similar with like sometimes tequila has the different bugs in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, leaving those in different alcohol for and then eating these giant like scorpions. Ugh.
Ah.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah. But yeah, this dude, Doka Ryan, definitely check him out sometime. He has some really gross ones. But if you need some ideas for some different drinks, he also has some pretty interesting ones.
Okay.
But I also want to give you an update. I know this was a hit last week. You remember the Spider-Man thing, the AI videos?
Oh yes.
They just keep coming.
Oh man, let's see how awful these ones are.
I want you to rate this like on a Yelp scale of 1 to 5.
Of how awful or how great it is.
Would you recommend?
What's 5? 5 would 5 be how terribly awful it is?
5 is amazing. You're gonna share it on Facebook, and for months to come, you're gonna tell people about it. Like if you're talking about videos.
Okay.
One would be like,
yeah.
One would be like, we need to hunt this person down and like have an intervention. They should not be making content.
All right. Sounds good.
Got the Joker and Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know. 2?
I
don't know.
It was
creepy that Spider-Man had a mouth with a mask on. That was funny.
Yeah, there's some weird things that happen with Spider-Man and the mask, especially when he's eating hot dogs. But friends in the chat, if you could chime in with how you would rank this. Obviously, we're no proponents of AI stuff, but this is what's taking over a section of YouTube. And I'm sure TikTok.
Yeah.
You're on TikTok, right?
Yeah. Surprisingly, the big thing, well, at least that I see on my TikTok is the Minecraft playthrough videos with, like, I don't know, somebody talking over it. Those are the big ones.
I mean, would you even have to use your own Minecraft video? Like, could we just kind of like the passenger pigeon thing, just like record something? Okay.
Yeah, you just steal someone's Minecraft video and then you put the audio over top of it, and that's what they do, I guess.
Hashtag Minecraft.
Yeah, I guess.
There you go. 1.1 from Chris. Leaves a lot to be desired, especially when it's out of 1,000.
Out of 1,000. Yeah. That's a good rating. I mean, I was being nice with my rating.
It's really hard to tell. Like, that's a lot of these will say things like, "What happens when this and this happen?" And then not much. Not much happens. I did enjoy
Spider-Man are in the kitchen. Yeah.
This scene here did make me laugh.
Yeah, this little I giggled. Yeah.
Yeah, this I think is a redeeming moment. It's a good laugh. Yeah, that's a good laugh.
Yeah.
We'll show you one more here.
Spider-Man's mouth is horrifying, though. That should have been the clip for the YouTube. That should be the thumbnail right there.
I like that the Joker's relaxed a little bit. He's taking out the face paint. He's just having a good time now. He really is just joking around now. Here's one. This might make you again kind of rethink. Like, are we trying too hard? If we just became AI bros, this video has, I believe, it's 195 million views.
Wow,
that's a preposterous amount of views.
Here's where I'm like throwing the view thing out the window. I think is like how many of the views are paid for?
I couldn't.
I mean, if you're willing to use AI to make videos, are you willing to use AI to promote your videos?
If I could have AI literally print money for me, I would sell my soul probably right now. But if this is how it's printing money, I'm good. I'm good. So this is
you can keep your soul
on TikTok. A lot are paid for. Interesting.
Yeah,
pay for play. I think that's what they call that. So guys, in the chat, we're gonna rate this a you know what? Let's use the tier system. The S tier. So you got A, B, C, D, E, F are exactly what you got back in like high school or whatever. But then S tier, this is top tier.
Okay.
Mind you, this is one of the top trending videos. So it should be S tier, right?
Yeah. The bar is really low apparently with people.
Well, let's see what we got here.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That's one jack cat, man.
Now the cat is fighting the shark. Here's what I'll give this. Right, so at least they're going in the. I mean, it's AI, it's awful, but at least they're going in the right direction. Where like it's telling a story.
Sorry, Dave's already cashed out. He's like, "Yep, I've seen enough.
I'm out."
Oh man. Thanks for hanging out, Dave. We will see you Saturday, my man.
Later, dude.
Sorry. It was too funny. I had to capitalize on the moment.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right? Like it's telling a story at least. For some of these are just like nonsense, but yeah. No. What's the lowest tier I can give this? I don't know.
F is the lowest tier.
All right.
Yeah, we
give it whatever's above a D.
D.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll just the little kitten does make it to shore. They do show up to pet it, and you do have a muscular cat silhouetted in the ocean.
So it has a few elements, right? We know the internet loves cats.
Loves cats.
I don't think kittens.
I don't think we would have the internet without cats.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's got a story, which
kittens story.
Yeah, it's got a story, and it's got a buff hero. So it has something. It has something. There's content there, but is it what people want to watch? I guess.
I think we're forgetting a very powerful element when we're talking about this.
What's that?
So you've been to a Comic-Con or two. Furries.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just think about it. If that was your walk in life, which I judge not.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. But like, if you're into furries and you see that coming out of the ocean, you're probably going to watch that video a couple times.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
Leave it on play. Leave it on repeat.
Yeah. Let her loop.
And then they're like, I love the meow meow song in the background.
That, makes me wonder if that's an AI song or does someone just have a Casio keyboard with like the meow?
It could be either. I mean, AI could definitely do that. I mean, you can tell AI to do any song as a dog if you wanted to. So yeah.
I think you just found your channel, buddy. I think you just found your next thing.
I'm all right. I'll pass. However, I will admit, the dark side sometimes does tempt me. It does tempt me. It's like, I know I can make money with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I could provide for my family by doing some AI baloney but then it's like, I don't believe in it. And then who am I stealing from? You know what I mean? And yeah, I can't get behind it.
Yeah. Well, that's, we've seen, and the individual that had posted it will remain nameless, but there is a fairly predominant artist out there in the field that has recently posted an AI video of one of his drawings, and it's neat. But I will not.
I sent you, right?
Yeah.
Coincidentally,
I had seen it come up earlier that day.
Oh, did you?
That's funny. Yeah. So it's definitely picking some traction out there.
Yeah, I just did this for fun. It's like, well, there's a slippery slope, buddy.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that want their audience to give them the nod, like, it's fine. I think that's what we're kind of getting to. Now here, James, I like to play devil's advocate. You know this about me, chat. You probably picked up on this too, especially those of you who met me in real life. I am not just going to play devil's advocate today. I'm going to play the devil.
Oh man, where's the?
I'm gonna see if I can get you to sell your soul.
Okay. Oh
okay.
Man.
Place your wagers.
This won't be hard.
Well, just kidding. James, if I told you that you could take any of your drawings that you have, and it won't be perfect, but it'll get you a workable form, that you could turn any of your images into a 3D model.
Oh yeah, seen this.
Now you might have to clean it up a little bit, right? You might need to go into your program of choice, but then if you're going to take this over to 3D print it, that sort of thing, text to texture, look at that.
That's cool.
Think of how much time you would save.
I mean, if I needed a 3D model, yeah.
They've already got. See, I'm telling you. That's. I feel like. I did, out of curiosity, I looked up some reviews on this.
Yeah.
Sold.
Sold.
It is really neat. It was randomly suggested to me to check this out, and on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like I know how much struggle I've been through to try to like make my own 3D models, and I think I've come pretty far. But I'd rather find somebody that can actually do it, if not myself.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's pricey, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, are they gonna go in here and use this and just tell me, "Oh yeah, I made it"?
I've been getting. Funny you say it. You mentioned it. I've been getting a lot of messages from 3D sculptors.
Yeah.
Who are like, hey, I can get you a 3D version of one of your characters or drawings or whatever, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just like, I'm really not interested.
No.
But they're like, yeah. I'm like, how much does that run? And like they charge from anywhere from like $200 to $300, right? So yeah, what percentage of them are just using that AI generator thing?
Well, there's that, and then there's also like Daz 3D. I don't know if it's called Daz 3D or Dazed.
I think it's Daz 3D. Yeah,
Daz. We'll just call it Daz.
Yeah,
like we know what we're talking about is Daz. Daz. There's so many assets out there that you wouldn't even have to necessarily sculpt anything. You just drag and drop what you want, and then it's almost like playing dress up. So it's like I've thought about hiring somebody because at some point I would like to make the Slaughter dolls into figures.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been trying to like do on my own. And it's like I got to like here, but I need to get to here before I can actually sell it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's much easier with cartoony style characters. Once you start getting more detailed characters, you're like, there's a lot you got to take into play there. Like, I have no problems making a little ghost character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
3D, like he's cute. He's got a little goofy smile, and he prints cute. But actually, like doing anything way more complex, moving limbs and stuff like that, it's like, oh, okay, right. Now we're at a different level.
Yeah, there's a lot more that goes into it. And then the next bit is, and you know all about this, if you're going to 3D print it, that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to have different colors and multiple parts where you got to like piece things together. I don't know.
Yep.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was one guy in Fiverr I was looking at, and to do a statue, like quality 3D, I think it was going to be around $1,500 to $2,000.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Which I tend to wonder, like, is he just going to go into Daz and like drag stuff? And
yeah,
it's like, I can do that kind of, but that's not what I want. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep. Let me clean up some tabs here. So that was a few things to talk about. I real quick before we get into the topic of the evening, there was one more update that is not the most exciting update, but we have been talking about it.
Yeah.
Have you heard the latest in Diamond distribution?
I was keeping tabs on it, and then I had heard. So what I had heard was that there was a bid, and they tried to give the bid to somebody else, even though
there's some shady stuff going on.
Alliance won the bid.
Yeah.
But and then according to some sources I heard was that they were trying to get out of that because Alliance wanted to gut physical copies.
Really?
And yeah, I think Diamond's looking to sell it to somebody who doesn't want to do that, which is interesting because isn't that
the whole point?
I feel like that's probably, I guess it's got to be a big chunk of the business. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen, what's going on. So I don't know. That was the last I had heard. I haven't kept up since.
Well, guys, I'm not going to bore you with the details. I started to read this article and I was like, this is not exciting news. It's just details of the deal that went down. But
yeah,
apparently Bleeding Cool chimed in on it, and there are some different companies like Universal Entertainment, Ad Populum, under the name Sparkle Pop. Very cool name, Sparkle Pop. Apparently they're splitting up different things. People are getting the actual physical assets. Some people are getting the business, this, that, the other. That's what this whole article is about. It's not that long, but it's more words than I wanted to read. So it sounds like for all of our actual brick and mortar shop friends out there and other retailers that sell online, sounds like there's finally something.
Yeah.
But I have heard some stories in the meantime of people, again, different not distributors, but comic shops have been getting letters from Diamond that are saying like, sorry, we owe you money, but sorry.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've heard any of that or not, but
yeah, I've heard similar, or like they're trying to gouge some of these people with some of their shipments, and you're like, well, what the heck are you talking about? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of confusion up in the air about what's going to happen with Free Comic Book Day. That was another big one.
So I've never. Okay, I get some grief sometimes from some fans at shows that they'll start like pushing me on my comic book knowledge.
Oh yeah, okay.
And admittedly, I'm not by any means the most read nor knowledgeable comic guy.
Yeah,
hands down. When I was to give you a picture, right? I'm a kid, little kid, and we're at the grocery store, and this is like my opportunity to bargain with mom, right? Like,
yeah,
I want a toy or something, and it's like, okay, well, you have $2, and it's like, okay, well, I can either get an action figure, like a GI Joe was $1.99 back then, or I can go get a comic book. And I love the comic books, right? But I had learned that I could go get a GI Joe that I could play with indefinitely until we blow it up, or a comic book that I'm going to read a couple times and be like, I don't actually know what's going on in this thing. The art's cool.
Yeah.
But if you bought a random Marvel comic book back in, late 80s, early 90s, there's like 50 other books you got to read.
Yeah.
So what I would do is get the GI Joe, and then I go up to the spinner rack, and then I would like force feed myself as much imagery as I can, just looking at all the comics.
Yeah, you'd kind of read them. Yeah.
Yeah, still no clue what's going on, but
yeah,
then I go home and make my own stories with the action figures. So this whole this free comic book day thing, are they literally just handing out free comics?
Yeah, it's literally it. So the point of Free Comic Books Day, from my knowledge, and from comic shops and stuff that I've listened to, heard, and talked to, is that Free Comic Book Day was established to get more people interested in comic books, right? Because it became a super low entry barrier to getting into comics,
right?
And so they would kind of mix it. From what I've seen, they'd mix it up. Sometimes they would do new runs of comics, or they would do just like a side story of a comic to do the Free Comic Book Day, just to kind of get people interested, so they have like some idea. Sometimes they would do middle runs, or it's like, this is a random comic in the middle, it's Free Comic Book Day, so you'd want to buy the other ones, obviously. But they said for comic shops, it became a way to get people interested in comics and then get people on their lists, their pull lists, for future comics. And the amount of money they made at Free Comic Book Day was like good, but the return from Free Comic Book Day for a lot of these comic shops would be, pretty phenomenal, because you'd have over the years of people that stayed on their pull list or whatever.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty much it. You get a free comic book.
As the only people I hear talking about Free Comic Book Day are people that are already entrenched in comics. Like, you already got that fish in the boat. Now, granted, it's a sign of, goodwill to, throw a little free something here and there. But I feel like that is if you're trying to grow your business and you're throwing out stuff for free, you want that to be in front of people who have never, I should say never, maybe their first time comic book buyer, or maybe they just haven't been back to a shop in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I think it's the thought of a potential return customer is the point of the comic book. Because obviously the comic book stores are still paying for them.
No,
they're discounted price, but they're paying like 75 cents a piece or less, or whatever, which isn't a terrible margin. But yeah.
Are you familiar with John Taffer, Bar Rescue?
Yeah, love John.
And he comes in and he's like, "Oh, this place is terrible, and you don't clean your equipment, and like your brother's going to like,
someone needs to do a comic stores. That'd be hilarious,
dude. That's actually an interesting. I hadn't thought that wasn't the direction I was going with it, but I like that.
Yeah,
he's probably like, "What are you nerds doing in here?"
That'd be hilarious.
He has a book called Raising the Bar, and all of my entrepreneurial friends that watch and hang out and that sort of thing, if you haven't listened to it, I recommend listening to it because you could probably apply a decent percent of what he talks about to what we do.
Yeah.
Now that book's all about opening a bar and grill or a club, but it's all like marketing and the psychology of someone experiencing what they're getting.
Yeah.
Now he wouldn't necessarily do. Sometimes he would do a campaign for like a free rack of ribs. Like if you got a brand new restaurant and you're trying to get people in the door, he would do that. But then he would also, while you're there, you're enjoying the free comic book, the free food, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Have the manager walk around, ask people if they're enjoying themselves, this, that, and the other, and then offer a coupon, say, "Hey, this is a buy one, get one. Bring a friend next week. We're going to be doing prime rib, whatever the thing is."
Yeah.
That way you're turning one person into two people.
Yeah.
And then when they come back, say, "Hey, show me the coupon. I got one more free gift for you." And then it's like a free appetizer or a free dessert next time, whatever it is. But he said, if you can get people back in the door 3 times or more, that is like a guaranteed customer for life. Statistically speaking.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I've tried some different things like that, but it doesn't always pan out.
Yeah, I think it's a little tougher for us, right? Because we do have to value our time quite a bit, right? So yeah, giving away free stuff's a little tough. But yeah.
I thought about doing something that I could order, like a giant case of a unique print that you can only get at a convention, or you can only get during an online sale.
Yeah.
So that way I can get the cost real low. But even then, it's like, if it doesn't work, now I'm stuck with a giant case of these prints.
Yeah.
So
yeah, high risk, hopefully high reward, but
yeah, I don't know.
You don't know the outcome.
Yep. Well, friends, we're going to talk about a couple topics here because as time goes on, you got Marvel and you got DC, and sometimes you get some more indie comics that are launching these movies, and they're digging deep for some characters. There was an old DC character, I think it was Kite Man, something like that.
Yeah.
And his whole gimmick was he had a giant kite that he would kind of fly around on. They actually brought him into what was it, the Harley Quinn cartoon, and he was like a pretty major staple.
That's funny,
right? So both of these companies in particular have an overwhelming breadth of characters that they've created over the years, and some of them have some god awful costumes. So we're gonna watch a quick video here. Well, this guy moves fast, so friends in the chat again. Feel free to leave a grade score. We're going to talk about some of these, how you would rank their outfits, if you like them, if you don't, and we'll go from there. But real quick, Chris says, before you get started, completely off topic, but I need help. Some really good salsa I have a hankering for, but no chips. Do I use Wheat Thins or Triscuits? Triscuits.
Wheat Thins.
Let's see, that's not going to help him.
I would go Wheat Thins. That's me. Unless they're plain, then I would go Triscuits.
I don't know. They still made Triscuits. I got to think about this. My gut said Triscuits. I stay with Triscuits. The wild card decision is you get a bowl and you put a little bit of each in there.
They're both plain.
I guess that's a real question we should have asked.
Yeah. Shoot. I don't know. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Wheat Thins personally, but yeah. He said, okay, both. Yeah, just mix it in a bowl. You got it. There you go, man.
Excellent. Glad we could help. We're actually putting a positive impact on the community.
Yeah. There you go. You just made your own trail mix. You just got to get some nuts.
Dude, my brother can chomp down some trail mix. Holy hell.
Oh, yeah? That's funny.
That dude can. That's like his. I don't know where I'm going with that. It's not an exciting story. All right, here we go. This is Mint Hunter.
What's up, comic and pop culture fans? This is James from Mint Hunter Comics. We're going to make a short little video today about what I think are some of the worst costumes that this hobby has ever seen in the world of comics. I challenged myself to not only just do 90s stuff, so you're going to get a little golden age in here as well. Drop some down below that are your favorites, and let's get this party started. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
This is a heck of a screen to freeze on.
That's funny.
Are there any costumes that jump out in your mind before we get started?
It's tough.
I haven't really thought about it.
Yeah. Some of the Venom symbiote ones were, a variation of different characters where they had the symbiote suit were pretty god awful. Yeah. Captain America was kind of weird, but I don't know. There's a lot. Bagman, that one was just weird, but it wasn't really like a canon, version of Spider-Man. That one was that was weird.
Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. If anybody has any in the chat that you want to share, we're gonna take a look at some of these here.
First is gonna be Fantastic Boobs. Invisible Woman. That's right. In the 90s, they opted to give her a cutaway.
Allegedly, this cutaway. I heard somebody talk about this. Allegedly, that was an error by the colorist. It was supposed to be a blue 4. Whoops.
He had other ideas.
But judging by the amount of other cutaway things, I don't think it was a mistake.
Perfectly located.
That looks like a mistake.
That definitely is a mistake. That doesn't even look right.
Right where her chest emblem should be. Very famous. You're going to find this on a lot of lists of dumbest costumes ever made. Funny thing is, for us guy readers in the 90s, I don't think we minded it as much.
No, I don't.
Probably not the most practical.
Yeah.
For instance,
probably a great place to store your phone.
Just throw it right in there. Well, the counterpoint to that is, have you ever gone to a shooting range or gone shooting?
Once.
Well, you probably notice that when you're shooting and the bullet cases come out, they're very hot and they fly all over the place. You don't need very important part of your costume to be revealing like that, to have random stuff fly in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems problematic. Heck of a way to start.
I don't know why.
How would you guys in chat rate it? On would you say S tier, A tier, F tier?
S tier being the greatest costume ever made, or
S is it's actually amazing. F is this is the worst costume ever.
I'd give it a C. I'd give it a C. Yeah. Functionally, I'd probably give it a D or an F, but give it a C. I think. So if you're thinking about back in the 90s, I don't know if Invisible Woman had the ability to actually turn her costume invisible. Did she? Because if you think about a lot of the invisible tropes, usually it was they were invisible, but the clothes weren't. So
she'd have to get naked all the time.
Yeah, right.
That seems like a bit much. I feel the comics code would have had a hard time with that.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So. Maybe she could turn her clothes. I guess that she can make other things invisible. I don't see why she wouldn't be able to make her clothes invisible too.
Yeah, that was all thing. Again, I watched a lot of the cartoons and stuff as a kid, a lot of the different movies and everything. Yeah. I think it was the first Fantastic Four movie. They said that their suits also got imbued with the cosmic energy, which is why Human Torch, his outfit could catch on fire too and not have a problem.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. These are comics we're talking about.
I never read the original series, so
they never really appealed to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sure, I would love to have any of those powers now, except for being a permanent rock man. I don't know. Maybe that'd be cool too.
Why? Yeah.
Permanent rock man?
No. Yeah. I don't. No. There's too many drawbacks to that, but I don't know. Not to veer off topic too far, but have you heard that that the Thing actually has secret powers. Yeah. He sheds his rock form, and he actually becomes one of the most powerful ones. One of the most powerful of the Fantastic Four. Okay. Oh yeah. You're gonna have to look it up, man. It's very interesting.
Sure that's what they were thinking when they first drew this.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they were like, well, so I think trying to get into the head of Stan Lee there with like the characters. Like I think he wanted these characters to like go through things, emotionally, physically, and I think that's what people wanted to delve into because they wanted to feel related to the comics, and that's obviously something we think about when we're creating our characters too. But yeah. So
I think some of these writers, they get a hold of a character that they really like, and they're like, "What if we made this the best form of him ever?" Like they did that with Gambit, where he became like an ultra god almost. I forget what his name was.
Yes, that wasn't that wasn't Earth 616 canon, but yeah.
That's I don't know though. Like if you walk around with a bunch of rocks on you all day and you do that for years, you're gonna be jacked, man. Like you shut off all those rocks, you are gonna be cut up.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, anywho,
next up is going to be Cosmic Boy's outfit change to Bondage Boy. Yes, he's either too naked or not naked enough. I don't know what's going on here. I don't understand this design.
What?
Which I'm not sure that you want anyone with the name Boy as like the suffix.
Yeah.
To be running around.
Yeah, this is weird.
Yeah.
This is already an F tier. I'm giving this one an F.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, think about like Spawn kind of has a similar though. Like if you change these into triangles coming up, it's kind of the same thing that Spawn has.
Yeah. He's not naked. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, he's not naked.
That we know of. Yeah, it's not a great look. Yeah, Chris chimed in with saying. I guess from
or a boy,
that's the weird part. I don't know that we needed to make this a character. Like I said, that ends with boy.
I gotta look this up later because I want to know the origins of Bondage Boy. Like, did the bondage bond to him and give him superpowers, and now he can bondage other people? Because that's weird that a boy was putting on bondage suits.
I don't think it's. I don't think they actually changed his name to Bondage Boy. I think that was the joke, and I wouldn't Google that either.
That would be fun. That would be, I would have. Yeah. My wife's gonna be like, "What are you looking up?
What happened to James? Weird. Where's he at? Why am I being subpoenaed to go testify?" Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Here's an interesting one, Dr. Fate.
Oh.
Every now and then I get people at shows that ask about Dr.
Fate. That time he became Dr.less Fate. Not only did he lose his doctorate as part of his name, he seemed to have lost all fashion sense. He went by the name Fate, and this could...
I want to go back to that shirt. I feel like this is kind of A tier.
Yeah, I'd put it a B.
If you're at Comic-Con and you see some dude come up with a rad red mohawk, sleeveless trench coat, amazing gold wrapped arm, and a shirt that says "Eat Quiche."
Yeah, the "Eat Quiche" throws me off. I'm like, was that there or did he put it there?
At this point, I don't even know what reality is.
If his shirt was black, just black, that would probably bring this up a grade. The "Eat Quiche" is what's getting me, I think.
This is a lot going on. Cable, Johnny Rotten, Wolverine, Winter Soldier. Yeah, they kind of put it all in a blender. And this is what you got. Yeah, that late 90s, especially like mid to late 90s, I felt like everybody just wanted to go as extreme as possible.
Yeah,
I kind of miss it. That was someone brought up, I forget where I heard this, but someone brought up Linkin Park. Like back in the day, Linkin Park felt like a bunch of like regular like dudes that you would know at the bar or whatever were in a band, but they all look like they were fighters out of like a fighting game.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of miss that with characters nowadays. Everybody's trying to go like darker and more realistic, and they're not wearing costumes, they're wearing body armor, you know.
Yeah, I miss the 90s vibe.
Chris is having second thoughts. Same B+.
B+, okay.
Oh, for ridiculousness.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, man. I
think in person this would probably look really cool. Honestly, in person.
Probably not.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
It's got a lot of good
stuff. I'm just imagining somebody that was cosplaying like this.
Yeah.
I
think the onk over the eye might be a bit much.
Yes. That one is too like cable for me. Yeah, that one's a little weird.
Well, in iconography these days too, like how many of these symbols are now used by like groups? You get the right combination on there, and that actually means like, I don't know, you're a blood and a crypt. I don't know.
Yeah. And the gold wrapping kind of feels a little bit to me like not Shang-Chi, what's his name? Iron Fist.
Oh yeah.
Just I don't know if it's just because it's yellow and it's you know, its arm or whatever, but yeah, it is a weird mod. Yeah.
Chris, I think we're seeing your progression into that glass of bourbon. You went from F minus to B plus to A minus.
Yeah. It's just we'll just have to hang out here a little bit longer. So we'll see when we get the S tier.
Yeah. Next thing you know, every one of these is going to be amazing. Let's see.
Got the beer goggles.
That's right. One day, the last 20 years of completely mishandling Tim Drake will be studied, except for Tinion's Detective Run. I love you for that, man. But he just keeps getting a back seat. Well, during this one brief period, even his costume got a back seat. Tell me you're not interested in designing this character without telling me you're interested in designing this character. Come on. Dracula. Well, Dell Publications, Tinion's Detective.
Yeah, he didn't actually break that one down at all. Yeah. Okay.
I guess it was this one.
It's got to be the colors, I guess.
I was never a Robin fan.
Yeah.
So I don't have much skin in the game here.
They have to be going like bird colors or something. Like they probably are like, oh, well, we can't really do blue and black because that's Nightwing. We can't really do, you know, he's not Nightwing yet. We can't really do black and blue and yellow because that's Batman. But we could add a little bit of yellow here. But what other color would complement yellow? And then they came up with brown. I don't know.
What if
it is a little weird?
A whole character shift and go down a dark alley and say blue suit like this, but a little bit of shiny right up by the neck after the passenger pigeon. And this dark alley that he goes down, he will be known as the passenger, but the book is called.
Let's get started on this. The passenger pigeon, the superhero.
It'll be called the Dark Passenger.
There you go.
And he's wrestling with his demons. He's wrestling with all this. He's also wrestling with all these damn birds, like all kinds of elements there.
Yeah, there you go.
See,
maybe he can replicate, you know, to become multi-billion versions of himself.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you had a power where you just like you throw your hands out like you do the comic book, you know,
yeah,
and just this spray of birds comes flying out. It may not be perfect, but it's gonna have an effect.
Yeah.
Chris, glad to see you're well on your way there, buddy.
There you go. I had half a glass of moonshine before I started the show. So
when you say moonshine, I'm doing a little old smoky.
What's that?
You doing a little old smoky?
No.
The brand, or you got like?
No, it's like someplace from Pennsylvania that is at the Steel City Con that we go to. We get these little vials of moonshine from them.
Interesting.
Yeah,
so they're selling alcohol at the show, like vials. That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought for sure there would be like some sort of like law against that, but apparently not.
It's weird, man, because like Knoxville, you would think like Tennessee, you wouldn't have a problem with someone selling something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was booth next to this group of guys that were from a distillery down there that somehow got the licensing rights to make Assassin's Creed rum.
Ooh, okay.
So all their stuff, I guess, I don't know if they're aging the rum in barrels or whatever they were doing, but it was branded with the Assassin's Creed logos. They couldn't sell the rum at the show. They could display the bottles. They couldn't crack them open. But like they would give you information to order it.
Oh, okay.
It
Makes
was,
sense.
yeah, I don't know. If they were selling it at the show, they would have made a killing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Should have been like, we're out in the G section of the parking lot. Come meet us out there. We got a trunk open.
Yeah, I want to try that. I wonder how good it is.
Yeah. Well, we're going to continue down the list here, friends. But those of you that are hanging out, I see we got some people popping in on Facebook, and I think I just went live on Instagram.
What? You just went live? How is that possible?
Well, I looked over and it said go live, and I thought I already hit it, but apparently not.
Oh.
But if you guys are watching on Instagram, if you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, hit that like button and let us know what flavor moonshine you're into. Now, were you drinking straight moonshine or were you drinking like a flavor?
Oh, so it was like it's like caramel. What was it? Caramel, vanilla, cream, moonshine. I put it in my coffee. So
oh boy,
it was good.
That sounds really good.
It was very good.
That was someone had left over at the family's house. They had left one of those like bottles of syrups that you use for fancy coffees, and it was caramel, salted caramel.
Ooh, yeah,
it goes great and everything. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too salty. It's like the right amount of salt.
Right. And you know what? Quick tip: you just put just a tiny dash of salt in your coffee while you're brewing it. It'll wash away a lot of that acidity from the coffee, and it'll be so much smoother.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I would accidentally overdo it and end up with a overwhelming amount of salt in my coffee.
Yeah, you don't need much. Like literally, like I think a half a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon, if you're doing a full 12-cup pot of coffee.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We got some people popping in over on Instagram. Thanks for joining, guys. Hit that like button. We're just hanging out. We're talking awful costumes on superheroes, getting you up to speed here. So let's jump ahead here. So the whole Dracula thing in the comics, apparently, okay, so Dracula is public domain. So like if you wanted to do a Dracula story today, you could, right?
Yep.
But there's like so many things that are copyrighted. So you can't use certain looks. Like if you try to do the Universal Monsters look, you're screwed.
Yep.
Dracula.
This one.
Well, Dell Publications seems to just do the purple bat. Yeah, this was just probably the worst Dracula look I've ever seen ever.
Look at that.
And we've seen a lot of iterations of Dracula.
That's awful.
Okay. I think it's pretty good.
That's awful. You know what? That feels like the Phantom? Is that his name? That guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just a purple unitard, man. It's like, what is this?
Well, he does have, check it out. He does have the gold bat logo.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a little bit of bling going on.
Was this before Batman, I wonder? Surprising that he gets sued over that.
That's a good question. I have no idea. This is quality action. This is one hell of a haymaker.
Yeah.
It's so powerful that instead of his head going, how would that go? Feels like it'd go down.
It would
down
definitely
in a way.
Turning. Yeah.
So much force, knocking him back.
Yeah.
Straight up gut punch there.
Forehead, I guess. I don't know.
This era of comics I love because it's like we're just figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I think Tony can draw, let's get Tony in here, Yeah. I don't know. I think this is feel free to rate this one, guys. Put it on the tier list. I think the bat
going F on this one.
Or Dracula, you're going F.
I'm going F.
F this.
Yeah, yeah. F this costume. It's awful.
I don't think it's enough.
Even the horns, man, like where the horns are, or whatever you want to call them, like, like it's weird.
But
and then like he's like his face mask is like, what is that? It goes down to his nose. What? Are they trying to make him look like an actual bat? Like,
I think so.
It's weird.
I think the thing that's confusing me the most is that it's supposed to be Dracula, and the dude is jacked. Now, I suppose if you've been alive for hundreds of years, you should be jacked.
Yeah, you should be jacked. Yeah. I
don't know how that works.
Gotta be drinking enough blood, man. I don't know.
I don't know enough vampire lore. We do have a cryptid expert in the chat. Chris, maybe you can chime in on this.
Jack.
Can you get that could go a few different ways. If the whole vampire thing is like, because what was Interview with a Vampire? There was a little girl that got turned into a vampire when she was little, and now even though she's hundreds of years old, she's a little girl.
Yeah.
So could you get jacked as a vampire if you weren't jacked at the time you got bitten?
Oh, it's a good question. I feel like, no, you couldn't, because you would have if your body's always repairing itself, right? That's the only way you build muscle is by tearing your muscle apart to gain new muscle. So technically, no.
Expert cryptozoologist chimes in. You are locked in your physical form, same haircut and everything.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah.
So this dude was ripped.
Yeah.
And that vampire bit him. I want to know what kind of vampire has the cojones to walk up to this guy.
Probably that cat from earlier.
Coming up out of the ocean. There's this like ripped dude like posing on the beach, you know?
Yeah. Right.
And all the other crowd runs. They're having like a bodybuilding competition like they used to show like on the beach. And the rest of everybody runs off screaming. He's like, that's right. They're terrified of my muscles. And then right in the neck.
Yeah.
Right in the neck. Yeah, I'm putting this on a D tier.
Okay.
It doesn't do much to innovate. However, you got to keep in mind, this is the era of comics where most of the superheroes were just bodysuit, cape, and then like the bandit mask.
Yeah. Even early Batman was kind of weird and wimpy looking. I'll admit that.
No. If you cut your hair, it would reset at dawn the next day. It's almost like Groundhog Day, you know?
Yeah. You're stuck where you're at forever. Yeah. Makes
sense.
sense.
I feel like if you had the option to be turned into a vampire, you want to take a year, get as like jacked as you can, get an awesome haircut. If you want to grow out a beard, grow out your beard.
Yeah, you got to plan it out.
Get bit.
Yeah, there you go.
Be like, listen, dude, I know you're gonna bite me. I'm on board. Let me like hit the P90X for a bit. Then let's do this.
Yeah, if you want a tattoo, you'll have to get a tattoo beforehand. You're like, you know what? I really want this tattoo for all eternity. So let's get it.
Before we get
turned. You know.
What if it sucks though?
yeah, right. You get this awful thing, and you're like, oh, I'm stuck with that for eternity. Great.
Yeah, no regrets.
Yeah.
Tattooed right under your neck.
Yes, no regrets.
I don't know, man. I guess like if you had some skin in the game, like you knew like you're gonna be a vampire, and it's gonna happen 8 months from now.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? Like, I've lived this way for quite a while. Am I content to live like this for a couple hundred years until someone drives a stake through my heart?
You would hope, yeah.
I don't know. know.
Yeah. You'd be asking for it by the end. I have this horrible tattoo on my back. It's been bugging me. Just stake me now.
Every day you got a laser. Well, a laser might kill you though. That's concentrated light. I don't know.
Ooh, good. You know what? UV light, would probably get you. That's a good theory. We're gonna do a deep dive on vampires one of these days. We'll do the passenger pigeon, and then we'll do the.
Let's make unexcitingheroes.com.
There you go.
And it's going to be a bunch of superheroes that have particular powers and stories that none of them are that great, but we're going to answer some questions.
There you go.
I like it. Smacking the Pied Piper. You know what? I think he is. I had to stop
Probably.
him.
Yeah.
Here's what it says in the background. After this dude gets smacked up, he says, I had to stop him. He could have grabbed the children and hurt them. But why did they obey you if they were hypnotized by the Piper? It's Dracula versus the Pied Piper.
That's funny.
There's a whole genre here.
You're gonna pay the Pied Piper. A lot of
You have,
puns
like,
there too.
You have like Bo Peep show up.
Yeah.
This is like Shrek, but introduce like the Universal monsters.
Yeah, there you go.
Bro. Guys, you're witnessing history happen. No one steal this idea. Oh, here's an even better picture.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Still enough.
D-. At least they're trying something.
Sure.
They're trying something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is an interesting era that he's going to go into.
Literally had all of the primary colors on that dude.
What's that?
That dude literally had all of the primary colors.
That was a big thing back then. Maybe it's because that's all the ink that they had. They're like, maybe they
red,
yellow, and blue.
Yeah. Maybe they can't print in other colors. I don't know. Who knows? They didn't have the technology.
Might have been.
Fabio Thor. This was an extremely brief and never quite explained Thor costume that came out of the 90s that was as ridiculous as it.
Look at that guy.
I'm giving this one a B, bro. I kind of like this.
Yeah, this era. Like, people criticize Liefeld and all these, everything that was going on in the era where like Jim Lee was like making some crazy costumes too.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
There's some cool details.
Yeah.
Got the 90s midriff going.
Yeah.
It was brief. All the costumes in these few issues are pretty crazy, but this one takes the cake. I think if it weren't for the internet, this thing would have been.
I think it really depends on who's drawing it.
All right. Yeah. I don't like the croppy top thing. That I don't like. That's weird to me.
There's a I forget who did it, but someone did a YouTube video going specifically into what the hell is Gambit wearing on his head.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not like it's not like a ski mask.
No.
And it's not like a true balaclava.
Yeah.
What is that thing? And they pulled up. There are so many characters that have sort of this shape, like face covering. And really, all you could find by the end of it, this is like a 20-minute video I watched. I wish I could remember who did it.
Talk about rabbit hole.
By the end of it, he said the only thing he could come up with is that because it accents like the jawline and like the face.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
That's
what I would say too. I literally use that shape to draw faces sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to make people look like they have a well-defined, chiseled face, it works. Yeah. So why not? I'm sure the first guy that did is like, why don't we just make that the mask?
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. I like it. I think the midriff kind of deal is maybe a bit much.
Yeah. That knocks it to a C for me. Yeah.
Yeah. But everything else, I mean,
yeah, I do
kind of like the hair is a bit.
Yeah, it's a little too overflowy. Like, is he the god of hair?
You got Fabio out there. Dude, if they had made a 90s Avengers with Fabio as Thor.
Oh my god.
You would have had every lady there in the yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Shazam though, that's kind of cool. He's very thick up top.
Yeah. That's really hard to scratch like the middle of your back.
That's Captain Marvel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Yep. Who the hell is that?
It's got to be Captain Marvel.
Well, no, because that's a DC character. Is it not?
Oh, is this from when they did the crossover Marvel versus DC?
Yeah, is this like an amalgam thing? Is that why?
This might be because they did do a in that era. They did like a legit Marvel versus DC with like Batman versus.
Okay.
So Batman fought the Punisher. Okay. Yeah, something like that.
I actually have an actual amalgam comic. It's still my favorite. I like Dark Claws. That was the best. That was the best character to come out of that.
Well, I do believe there was like a legit like team up Marvel and DC. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been talking about doing this again. I don't know what happened to it, but
Been forgotten to
very
time. Maybe it should stay that way. Next, we got Guy Gardner. That time they made him a Coachella girl. Guy Gardner, warrior. And he's just all tribal tattooed up and super muscular and veiny. Now, granted, the book was actually pretty good. And he
Guy Gardner is in the Green Lantern?
I think so.
This is an F for me. This is so far off character. What the heck is going on here?
Not
even a Green Lantern.
It's got like the Mega Man hands going on.
Yeah.
This might have been like a Red Lantern kind of influence.
He had some cool new powers, but in the end, he really looks like just some frat dude who's
Ooh, I recognize that art style. Who is that? It's
that's a
Brett something.
That's the thing, is like really well done art, but whatever these paintings are, or those tattoos, or whatever you want to call it,
yeah,
it's not really working.
No, well, you can't do red on a freaking purple body. Like, that doesn't make sense. And then orange hair, like the color contrast here is just weird.
It's very ultraviolet kind of feeling, you know, like when you look at things through ultraviolet light, they only kind of pop up in certain vivid colors.
Yeah. They've done some weird things to Guy. I mean, sometimes even his haircut. I mean, in one comic, the dude is like cut in half, and he's living off of the lantern. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if they would have just went with something simple, like maybe like a burning hole in his chest or something with some armbands, it would have been fine.
Yeah,
you know, he's got the big gloves on. I don't know. I think this is it's a D. I don't care for it.
Yeah.
Firefly.
He's Firefly, but you kind of get the vibe that this suit is Ditko being a little bit tired at this point in his career. Normally a character with some cool design.
Survey time, guys. Help me out here. All right. Which of these brands have you heard of? Peak Design? Never. Yeti?
Yeah.
Yes. I have heard of Patagonia, but I don't know what it is.
Never heard of it, yeah. North Face, yeah.
That was like a hot trend for,
it was,
I don't know, like 3 years.
Yeah.
Can I pick none of the above and those? No. There you go. YouTube.
Gets a super rough outfit with one of the stupidest belts you'll ever see. To be fair, the original version is not much better. Thank God.
This reminds me of a character from an anime I watch, which I still think is the most ridiculous character. Dude literally has a belt, and then he goes, whee, and he like shoots like light out of it.
Like he's like
weird,
thrusting.
Dude. What's that?
Like he's like hip thrusting.
Yeah, dude, it's so weird. And literally, like, he'll do it with his hands behind his back. Like, it's like,
boy,
what's going on right now? I don't know.
That's awkward.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. This is like a similar idea to like the Mandarin having all the rings that do different things and that sort.
Yeah.
But it's like colors on a belt. It's just not.
Yeah, it's just not a very good design.
No.
There's more interesting ways to make that interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's do a couple more here. We got Booster Gold.
What's wrong with Booster Gold?
Booster Gold?
What's wrong with that one?
You want to see a little Booster Gold?
Sure.
Gold. That's right.
Booster
In
Troll.
a couple iterations on this list, you're going to see some 90s characters that got some armor and looked ridiculous. I think Booster Gold is the worst of all the enhanced armor ones. This is rough. Luckily,
you know what though? I don't know. The armor fits his character better, but yeah.
I don't know. I never really knew much about Booster Gold.
He is a time traveler. Came from the future. He was a loser where he came from.
And he's a loser now.
And he came to the current day, ended up meeting up with Blue Beetle, and they've kind of been friends since. And he's a superhero, obviously, compared to people now versus the future people.
Don't mind it. Yeah, it's not terrible. I'd give it a C.
Yeah.
I think the big thing is when they talk about costume and character design, they talk about silhouettes, and it's just
the one where it's like all bulby looking is weird. Yeah. There's no interesting shape language there.
Right. Captain America.
Oh,
man. Forget Captain Chad, formerly known as Captain America. Hot on the trails of the Booster Gold redesign.
They just like doing that metally look. This had to be around the time Jim Lee was doing, and all those guys were doing that. You know, like they were like, "Oh, do more metal on the character. That's cool."
Yeah,
it's gotta be.
Especially like if you look at the neck with like all the cables in there and everything.
Yeah.
Design. We have the Cap exoskeleton design. And while I don't think it's as bad as Booster Gold's, it definitely is not a match for Cap. And unlike some of the ones.
Now there's your giant suit.
I give him a C.
Yeah, C. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's got the tiny little ankles. Those little ankles got to hold all of this up.
That
is, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of bad designs. We're not going to go into the rest of these, I don't think. Yeah, maybe we'll take a look at Wolverine. But you guys definitely check out Mint Hunter's YouTube channel. He's got some fun videos. This one, let's check out Wolverine. This will be the last one. We'll move on.
Tasmanian Devil with fingerless gloves. This thing is absolutely hideous. It's basically the suit.
So it's not so much costume. It's I think we lost your camera.
I'm right here.
Talking about costume design. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very nice. Get a couple more shots of moonshine in you, and you'll be
oh yeah,
ready to go.
I'll be ready to go take an axe to some other fellow Vikings. Yeah,
is that a Hagar the Barbarian?
Yeah, there you go. All right. Yes.
This is like part Gollum there.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going. Voice.
I like it. Yeah, I feel like this is not so much a costume thing as it is a how you draw Wolverine thing.
This is the worst version of Wolverine. It's annoying. But it is supposed to be like it kind of makes sense the way the direction they were going, but the design was bad, which is what killed this storyline of Wolverine.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's one of the more exaggerated shots.
Yeah. The point is that his mutant ability was actually the fact that it caused him to become more what's the word I'm looking for?
Animal.
Beast, yeah, more beast like the longer he had it. So yeah, by the time he was 500 years old, he looked like that.
Interesting. If he just got bit by a vampire, he'd be fine.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if that would work. I don't know the laws of comics enough to know if
I think he would heal from that. I think the venom from the Dracula would just not affect him, I think. But that's an interesting idea.
No. Well, thank you. We'll add it to my stack of great ideas I've come up with tonight.
Yeah, dude. What's working on? Let's go.
I've got a little bit of a conversation here to have. Unless anybody else has any terrible costume recommendations to check out. There was another video I was watching. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. It was from Comic Tropes. He talks about the Marvel method. Have you heard about the Marvel method?
Yes.
Could you give your take on what the Marvel method is all about?
So the Marvel method, to me, at least from what I've understood, I had originally thought that it was just a way of drawing characters. Turns out it's more about who does what as far as the Marvel method goes. Right. So when I think Marvel method, I think of Stan Lee comes up with the idea, doesn't write it much on paper, tells the artist this is the idea, and then lets him go at it.
No.
That's the Marvel method.
Yeah, it's interesting because Comic Tropes, he goes into like some of the different artists, like what they had to say about it. Like a lot of the guys that had worked with Stan and all that. And I had the same impression as a kid growing up. We had the book. I mean, that's what I studied on, like, as far as self-taught goes, that book was a huge part of it.
Yeah. Probably behind me somewhere.
Yeah. That's as a kid, it's like this is how you go from not really knowing how to draw anything to here's how you draw a comic book page. Here's how you put it all together. And as he was going on, he's talking more about what you kind of pointed out there. He's like, for a lot of people, it turned into, well, Stan just gives me ideas to what the comic's about, and then I have to figure it out.
Yeah.
His speculation at the end, and of course he didn't want to like speculate too much because he didn't want to throw any shade at Stan, was that because Stan was busy with so much going on that this was an easier way for him to get more done, keep the writing credit, and have the artist do the more or less heavy lifting with the writing.
Yeah. I don't know what the thought process was behind that from Stan's perspective, but some of the artists liked doing it that way. They loved it, and we might have talked about it before, but I think that has a lot to do with what really went down between him and Kirby. Was basically who got credit for what,
right?
And there were some artists that were kind of pushed out the door when they asked for writing credits. Or or co-writing credits on some of these books, because it's like, I came up with the whole story. You gave me the original idea, but I wrote the whole thing and drew the whole thing,
right.
And whether or not they said it at the time and came out later, and then they were given hush money, so they're like, we won't add you to the credits, but we'll. There's a specific artist that I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but we'll give you a pay raise, per page.
Right.
But we won't add your name to the credits. It's just like, as a writer. So it's I don't know. It's a little fishy. In the creative world, in my opinion, I think it gets a little dicey as far as who does what, who gets what. And I've kind of also run into that a little bit myself. I won't go too far into detail, but yeah, it's interesting. Like, who holds the power over the actual IP, who holds what, and who can use what, and what can you do with it, based on what your contract originally was, and yada yada yada. So, and it's like, some people agree with, writer owns the whole most of it, and then the artist gets what they created, as far as percentage wise. Or in some cases it's very much, well, the artist bought the writing, and the artist should own most of it because they did all the heavy lifting. And it's like, I feel like, really, in both situations, it's devaluing someone's ability to do something. So yeah,
I like your commitment to the character.
Thank you.
Trying to keep the voice. Yeah, it's interesting because I've seen like comic book scripts, and there's nothing that excites me about reading a script and trying to do exactly what the writer has, like, camera close up of this, pan shot over to this. And I'm like, I think I'd rather just have the Marvel method. Give me an idea of what you want. Tell me how many pages you want. If there's any main story beats you want along the way, and let me run with it.
Yeah.
And the way that Stan had described it, he said that his whole thing was, at the end, he would have these pages come to him, and it was really obvious, like, where the story beats were, what was going on, and then he could come in and write the dialogue in at the end. He said a lot of the dialogue writing, he would kind of play it off of what he was seeing in those scenes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I do too. So I think if you're doing it on your own, do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
But if you're collaborating with other people, I think that's where you gotta have everything kind of.
Yeah, I think in comics, if you're not doing it by yourself, you almost have to have a very good relationship between the artist and the writer, and have a good understanding of what each person is expecting, as far as who does what, or how far you want to go with the script, or whatever. But having that open line of communication, it's like, hey, I don't like the way that this is written.
Right.
But this panel doesn't fit with the flow. This idea that you have doesn't really fit with the flow of the whole page, and it doesn't make sense. We need to add a break here, or whatever. We need to push these around. So like being able to have that communication with your writer, and not every writer is going to be responsive to that either.
No.
So it's also up to obviously the writer and the artist to pick a good team for each other.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. So I've been off from traveling the last 3 weeks, and I'm like back to reality. This is my last night, and then I'm off to Chicago. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I got a lot done. I'm going to show some teaser shots here. When I say teaser shots, it's pretty much the page.
Let's see it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
I don't know how well we can see that on there.
That looks great.
Thank you. So this is for Darkseid 2. This picks up right after the end of the first issue of Darkseid. And it getting a little bit more confident with like laying stuff out and that sort of thing. Getting a different panel breaks.
Yeah, loving the space color. Did a good job.
Thank you. Luckily there's some brushes that make that really easy to do. Digital. That's the thing. That's the thing about doing it on your own. It's like I don't have to pencil everything because I know what I'm going to ink. I don't have to ink everything because I know what I'm just going to digitally paint at.
Yeah.
So like even putting in like these, different accents with the lights or the painting on the side of the ship, I just painted that right on.
Yeah, I mean, think about how much time you're saving because you're not hiring a colorist that doesn't know what the hell you're doing.
Right. Dude, that's my biggest concern is like, if I send something off to an inker, they're going to be like, what the hell is this mess? And then from there, if it goes right to the colorist, it's like, they're going to look and be like, I don't know what this is. I've got a little bit of a different approach to everything, but this is all like, I have this in my head, how it's going to play out as far as what it looks like. But there's even stuff that I had to go in and redraw because I'm like, I kind of forgot this character was hanging out on the side. They should be doing something. Like they wouldn't just stand there like an idiot and then disappear.
Right.
So,
keeping it canon, man.
Hagar the Horrible, James.
Hagar the Horrible.
There you go.
That was good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, this is I gotta adjust some of the lightings on this one. This cuts to the inside of their little skate pod. And have some fun with it, man. Just changing up like the angle on everything to get some more dynamic. I don't know. It's been fun. This is one of those books that I wasn't necessarily excited to sit down and start working on, but once I did, it's kind of hard to see in the background here. But like even drawing in all these little lines for like the escape hatch on the back. And then like on the side of the ship, just rendering all those in.
Yeah, dude. Fun. That's good.
Thank you.
It reads, right? And that's the thing about comics is that not everything has to be, completely drawn in. As long as it looks like what you're trying to do, you're almost creating the illusion on your page of what you want people to see, and you did a good job with that.
Thank you. This was like I had to do a little bit of research as to like if you had a solid red light like they do inside the escape pod, but then you shine a bunch of harsh white lights on them. And finally, I was like, you know what? We're just going like really cool. What looks best?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it looks best or not, but that's what I went with.
That looks good.
Thank you. I didn't put this one on there. Never mind. So that's what I've been working on, man. The other bit is like getting ready for this weekend. I've got 4 Ninja Turtle canvases I'm going to be doing. So I don't know if you guys saw those on Instagram. I'm not even going to try to pull it up right now because it's Lord knows where it is. I had to replace a lot of old canvases too. I don't want to show the camera. There's some gore. I got the worst blister on my thumb tightening all these canvases down to the point where I'm
gore from your finger, not like comic gore.
Yeah, no, literal.
Okay, I was gonna say, I mean, I don't know. You know, we've sworn on the show. We talk about alcohol. We do all this stuff. I don't think a little gore is gonna scare anybody, but maybe they'll freak out if they see your finger all bloody. I don't know.
Well, it's not too bloody. It's just
I like blood. You know,
it's part of your deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have a much stronger stomach for that kind of stuff. I was actually telling Chris in the chat about this. We were doing a show down in Richmond. And he's like, "Hey, you want to go to the Guar bar?" And I'm like, "There's not a chance in hell." It's like,
what's a Guar bar?
Do you know the band Guar? I feel like it'd be right up your alley.
Oh, nah.
As a Viking,
I think I've heard of them. I don't know if I know them off the top of my head.
Very theatrical, and they wear like these crazy like mutant monster like costumes that they make.
Oh, okay. Wait, is this? It's not like this isn't the band that sings the My Name Is Mud, is it?
No, that's
okay.
Oh God, it'll come to me at some point. At any rate, so Guar's known for being like gory imagery, but like they have a lot of fun at shows. Crowd really gets into it. Well, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, just Google Guar. That's all you need. But even like talking about gore and stuff now, I have a hard time doing it. I used to be into like OSHA safety stuff where we had to like look at industrial accidents and shit.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
And I don't know if you listened to Jeremy Renner just did an interview with Rogan where he's talking about the accident.
Yeah. You know, he's in much better shape than I had imagined when I had heard he had gotten an accident with a snowplow. I was like, whoa.
This snowplow is no joke, dude.
Yeah, right. Not like a little like, oh, I'm gonna push it and get the snow out. It was like a big motorized freaking thing. I'm also wondering how the hell he got hurt by it. But
he talks about. I listened to the point where he describes up to the accident. I had to kind of skip him some of the details he went into. But pretty much like they were up there for a couple weeks, like celebrating in the mountains for the holidays, and it was New Year's Day, and they kind of hit that lull where they're like, you know, we really should start doing something about all this snow that came down, because apparently like they're not high on the priority list for plow trucks to come through.
Yeah.
So he has this giant snowcat that they use to plow their driveway and all this. And it sounded like from what he had described, they're out there, they're trying to move some snow around. He got out of the snowcat, and somehow when he got out, you actually have to step down on the treads to get down onto the ground, which is not uncommon for big work vehicles like that, right? When he got out, he accidentally bumped it back into gear. It was in park, and when he got out, something snagged his jacket or something. And it started to go forward.
Yikes.
And it was headed straight towards, I guess, his nephew. So I guess his nephew was out there either helping move snow or whatever. So in an effort to like save his nephew, you're not supposed to jump on the treads when they're moving, obviously. But somehow when he was trying to jump up on it, he completely slipped, biffed, and underneath it.
Oh.
Yeah, and then he goes into the detail of all the stuff, and I'm like, I'm having like flashbacks to looking at other stuff, and I'm like,
yeah.
Skip ahead about 30 minutes, and he was in extreme detail about some other stuff. I'm like, skip ahead, skip.
You know, it's funny. It's funny the things that affect you. You know, when you're you know, like our age is like I almost can't watch any show about like kids getting hurt or kidnapped or like any of that stuff. Like literally turns my stomach completely.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously I have kids, right? So I understand that now. But and like you know, with your job, you've seen all that, you know.
Yeah, and even what I saw, it wasn't the worst of the worst. But it was one of those days where like I did a lot of the onboarding for new hires. We bring them in and sit them down, and I was so numb to it. Like, we would show pictures of industrial accidents. Like, if you don't do this correctly, this is what could happen.
Yeah.
And there's a day where like a bunch of people made a face. They're sitting in the room and they're like, oh, you know, because you're pretty much watching someone have the worst day of their life.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, next slide. Here's this. And then I'm like, I'm desensitized to this. And kind of, yeah. But at the same point now, it's like, you know, doing what we do, you meet all kinds of people at conventions. You meet a lot of people that were in the military, that are first responders. Maybe they're still in the military. Gives you a new perspective. And, you know, I talked with an EMT, and he's like, oh yeah, you got to have gallows humor. I'm like, yeah. So, but just keep in mind that like one day when you step away from it, that callus that you have from being in it all the time, that callus starts to turn back to normal skin. And that's when you're most susceptible. It's given me a whole new level of respect for, especially people that have like, you know, been to war and have seen some of the most horrific things, and then they come back and they get a 9-to-5. And going back to Jeremy Renner, one of the things they brought up was even in the Hurt Locker, that gave him a lot of perspective. Is he's like, so yeah, my character's standing there in the cereal aisle trying to like process how we went from dealing with these life and death situations all the time, seeing horrible things, and now it's like Fruit Loops, Cocoa Puffs definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of given me a new respect for what people are going through. I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
I think I got desensitized when I was doing LE work. Nothing bugs me. Yeah. Some people keep that thick skin the rest of their life, but for me, it's like, I don't know. Even talk about certain things, it's like, all right, gotta stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes you need people that have a stomach for it, because when stuff happens, someone's got to rise to the occasion. So
yeah, dude. Yeah.
So you said you're at Saratoga this weekend.
You got it, man.
Is that a 1 day, 2 day, 3 day?
So it is a 2-day show. It's Saturday, Sunday. It's in Saratoga, New York, and their big thing is like voice actors and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they have the guy who played in the alien suit is coming.
Interesting.
Yes. And the voice actor there is Sonic, and Shadow as well is coming.
Nice. Then didn't the guy that played Urkel, didn't he used to do the voice of Sonic?
He did the OG voice of Sonic.
Yeah.
Did I do that?
I was talking about Coney dogs and yeah.
Yeah, there's been a couple of different voice actors for Sonic. Like this guy is not even like the current voice of Sonic right now. Like there's like a couple of different dudes.
Yeah. Looks like he's the headliner though.
They don't typically have a headliner from what I've noticed, really. Yeah, because and that's kind of this is what I like about this show. And I think so there's two parts to the show of why I like it. So, and I'll admit the first part that I like it is because it's my best show. But it's my best show because it's in a area that can afford things.
It helps.
Right, it helps. Yeah, it's a very expensive. Like the people that live there, they have like $500,000 to $800,000 homes, and that's like the average.
Yeah,
I think I looked it up. The average income in Saratoga is like 400 or 300 or something, 300,000 a year. It's
wow.
Yeah. So they can afford it, and then they spend their money on betting and stuff, right? It's because they have the horse betting and races there. But the other thing I like about the show is that it's like consistent every year. There's no like new surprises that come with the show. There's no like, oh hey, we're moving. Well, I mean, so far, and knock on wood, we're moving the building, or oh hey, you know, we're moving your table to somewhere completely new, or we're gonna. And the other thing is they don't do like typical shows do, where it's like artist alley and then like the vendors, exhibitors, like everybody is spread across the entire show.
No.
So if you're going to see somebody, I mean, except for the guests are obviously in one little area, but they're at the farthest back of the show, so you have to walk through the entire show to get to them. But like if you're looking for, you know, Pokemon plushies, you know, you still are walking by about 4 other artists, you're walking by 4 other exhibitor booths and whatever else. But so, yeah, it's a good show.
They got a good mix.
Yeah, it's my favorite show, man. I've literally have absolutely, I probably maybe have 2 complaints, and that's me being a whiner. But yeah, other than that, I have no complaints.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I do believe maybe one day make it out to Saratoga, but this is just this time of year turns into.
Well, there's a bunch of other shows, right?
There's so much, and they all just move around just enough.
Yeah,
keep you on your toes. So like if you start adding too many shows to your arsenal, you're guaranteed to get double booked.
Yeah, that's the issue I'm running into is like there's so many shows on like the same weekend as other shows that I already do, and it's like I gotta maybe give this show up and to do this show. Like I already know there's one show I'm giving up going forward after this next show. So they do it 3 times a year. Steel City. I'm likely giving that one up for hopefully better shows, because every single show lands on the same exact, always somehow ends up landing on the same exact weekend as other shows I want to try.
Exactly.
So
yeah, when you get something like that, that's doing 3 a year, and you got to stay on board with it. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know. You got to constantly be coming up with new material to keep the audience happy, and that's a grind. Well, I will be at Nightmare Weekend, Rosemont, and it's going to be interesting. I do believe we're going to be on the 2nd floor. I've never done a convention on the 2nd floor there. Typically when you load in, you can go down the side of the building. There's multiple doors. You can park right on the road, wheel your stuff in, go to the parking garage, wheel, you know, do whatever you got to do. Right. They're saying that you got to use the ramp that goes up to the 2nd floor to load in, which to me screams none of the plan A is going to work. I had to actually RSVP for the time to be there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I got to be there at 1 Central Time tomorrow. So I got to like do reverse math to figure out when I need to leave by, all that good stuff.
And then hope that you don't have any, you know, long lines. You're waiting for food or something, you know, when you're trying to. I don't know how far of a drive that is for you.
I think it's about 5.5.
Oh, it's not too bad.
All around. Yeah, it's not bad.
Really? 5 to Chicago?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. It's not bad. I'm telling you, like
I'm thinking
where I'm at in Ohio, you can do a lot of shows within 5 hours.
Yeah, that's nice. You're lucky.
Yeah. Well, there's always trade-offs.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. I've been enjoying it though.
Here's a question I gotta ask: is how's your car holding up with all this driving?
Well, I ended up buying it's used, but a Dodge Caravan, and she's been doing pretty good, man.
That's awesome.
I've put a lot of wear on it already. The poor thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
But it's one of those things where it's like, you look at what other folks are doing with flying. Like when you fly, chances are like you want to stay at a connecting hotel so you don't have to drive or get in it. Like when you fly, it's so expensive. Plus, you got to ship your stuff if you're not going to be able to fit it all in a check bag. I right now can't figure out a way to make that business work for me.
Yeah. And that's what I always wondered too. And like you know, we visited Inkwell's videos a couple times. He's got a video where he talks about that, and like his cost breakdown and stuff. And it's like it's outrageous. I mean, between flight, and like paying for extra luggage to bring his stuff, and then he's got like 5 different suitcases, one's for all his poles and stuff. And I'm like, I don't even know if I could fit one of my poles in a freaking bag that I could, set that up with. Like it's like I don't know how I physically don't know how I would do that. So it's like then you have to like ship it out, and then how much is that? And now it's shipping and everything. If shipping is expensive, freaking shipping a piece of paper,
Yep.
So
yeah, it adds up. The minivan is the way, in my opinion, and Chris also agrees with that. I think there's certain shows that if you wanted to go do something that was like 20 hours away, 30 hours away, and it was just not feasible to drive.
Yeah.
Having a flight setup would be the way to go. But that's a lot. I don't know. I've also heard horror stories where people show up and their stuff doesn't. And
you always run into that.
Enough.
I had that issue at a show that I went to. I had it shipped to the hotel because it wasn't going to get to my house before I left.
Yeah.
So I had to have it shipped to the hotel, and then it ended up getting lost in translation. And then it was like 5 days later, it ended up in my house.
Of course.
Dealing with that on top of obviously doing the show, getting the phone calls from UPS, and like, where do you want this to go? Oh, yeah, we can do this. No, we can't do that. It's like, it's just... It's like it was a lot of like added stress. Like the stress level is already here during a show, making sure, hoping everything goes right, and I gotta interact with all these people all day long, which I enjoy, but it still adds up, and like, and I got all this extra stuff, so it's a lot. I think if I ever did a show where I had to fly, it would be me, a couple comic books, and a piece of paper. Like honestly, that would be the way to go. Maybe 1 or 2 prints. If I could bring it.
I don't enjoy any part of flying.
Yeah.
At all. Other than if I do have a layover and I've got like 2 hours to kill, just go to whatever bar is open and sit down and have a few drinks. Other than that.
I was trying to do Phoenix Fan Fusion.
Yeah.
I just got my denial letter last week, which I'm very sad about. Because I wanted to go to Phoenix Fan Fusion so I could go visit my family.
Gotcha.
It's like, make some money while I'm there, kind of to offset the cost of taking the vacation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And there's not a lot of shows out in Arizona, which is kind of weird.
To my understanding, there's not a lot in Arizona. So that's
last time I visited, I was surprised how much they've developed over there. Yeah, it's like from when I lived there in like 2009. To the last time I went, which I want to say it was about 2013, 14, 15-ish, give or take. Like it was a phenomenal difference. I was like, whoa, what the heck?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been to Arizona, but like I know going to Oklahoma City, GalaxyCon had their first year show there for their Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And they had a really good turnout for what it was. A lot of people were buying, and it was like nothing and then city and then nothing. And talking to the folks out there, they're like, yeah, the next closest show is like probably Dallas or Houston, has some different Comic-Cons. And if you don't feel like driving however many hours to get there, it's like, it's awesome that we got something right here now. So that part of the country it doesn't have as much population density.
Yeah. I mean, even if you look at a population like map, you can see like it's clustered over here in like New York and stuff, and it like kind of dwindles, space wise that way, which is just so funny. But yeah, it is funny. I have a similar problem though. Like Pennsylvania is like the middle of Pennsylvania. It's like a dead zone.
No,
like you just drive for miles through like mountains. It's crazy.
Woods and stuff.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I found myself at a table with a bunch of people I had no business being around in my early 20s, mid 20s.
Yeah.
The band that I used to be in, we were nothing crazy, right? We were just a little local metal band. We ended up like making friends that were big in the business. And we're sitting there at a table with a guy that owned one of the biggest like rock and metal festivals in the country at the time.
That's cool.
And it was down in Columbus, Ohio. And at dinner, he was just kind of just telling us stuff. And apparently the reason they had picked Columbus is that it's the densest area of population where people can either drive in or make one flight with no connectors. So
sense.
like if you're trying to do something where you're trying to get a lot of people there,
Mhm.
like Columbus is the place to be.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's still true to this day or not, but it's one of those things like if I had to move somewhere, like I could not stay in Akron, maybe Columbus, which is about a 2-hour drive for me. Because that's half the time I'm driving through Columbus to get wherever I'm going. Or back down to Louisville. I really like living in Louisville. It was a good time.
Yeah, Columbus is not. I don't think when I looked at it, Columbus wasn't far from me either.
Yeah,
I would say it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It was like
it is in like this perfect
doable.
spot where it's like the center of the spider web.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah,
but Chris says for me to drive 2,200 miles one way to Salt Lake City is cheaper than flying. When you look at my
Yeah. Wow.
And God forbid something happens on the road. Worst case scenario, you rent a U-Haul, you transfer stuff over. Unless like, you know, the worst stuff happens and your product's destroyed. Now, if your plane loses your luggage or they lose your checked bag or the UPS delivery doesn't get your freight there, whatever it is, you show up to convention and you got nothing to sell.
Yeah, you're just out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just there advertising for your website or whatever at that point. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, yeah, it's rough. I even looked at doing a U-Haul for the weekend, and whew, that's not cheap either.
No, it adds up. I'll keep in mind that if I want to keep my big stuff, I may be able to fly cheap with a small. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about doing for some of these shows is doing a like a checked bag setup. But I just really don't like flying, man. And then on top of that, you start doing the math about how much money you would have to make to offset the travel cost, and it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So like, I'll be going from towards the end of May. I think it's May 23rd is Oklahoma City GalaxyCon, and I'm on the road for 3 weeks straight down there. So GalaxyCon, then I think it's Dallas Fan Expo the next weekend, and then I picked up a tattoo show in Houston. I have no idea how that's gonna go. I've never done it before. It's always mixed reviews with the tattoo shows. So I'm hoping that when I'm down in Houston, my brother had lived down there for years. I know some of his friends that used to live there. I'm going to see if I can meet up with some of them. And I don't know, grab a drink or something. So,
Rock on, dude.
Yeah, it's just it's tough because like I'm just gonna be transparent for a moment. When you lose someone like a brother, I think I was like 30 when he passed. All the people that you haven't seen in a while, they don't know how to treat you. They don't know how to talk to you. And the fact that I lost my dad and then my brother in such a short amount of time, it was really hard to go to a lot of places.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it's like, hey, I'm just here to have fun. And it's like, I feel like I literally have the Grim Reaper just like sitting on my back, you know? So that was like a whole different dynamic. I actually went back when I moved back home to work for the company in Cleveland area. There's a lot of people that knew my dad and or my brother. And like, I'm just trying to like go to a corporate meeting to sit down and like tell me the thing that we're selling and how we're going to sell it. And I have people coming up to me like during the meeting, be like, hey, Steve, just want to let you know, like, really feel for you, man. I'm like, I'm just trying to not have a moment so I can just like listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. That's always tough because you never know where someone's at, you know, physically, psychologically with, you know, especially when something like that happens in their life. I mean, it's a pretty big event, right? Like it's nothing to, you know, snark at. It's or scoff at. It's, you know, it's like, and then you don't know how to approach the person because you're like, well, I mean, does he want to talk about it? Should I say something? Should I not say something so that he doesn't like? I don't know where he's at, you know. And like, I want to make sure he knows that I feel sorry for him. I don't know what and that I never understood either.
Yeah.
it's almost that's almost kind of a, it could be an ego thing. It could be, you're just trying to be nice, but like if you don't know the person like on a
No.
super personal level, it's
Yep.
kind of like, maybe just don't mention it.
Yeah, I find that the best thing that you can say, and it's sort of like a nod, like I understand your situation,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to dive into it unless you want to. Just, hey man, glad you're here. Glad you could make it.
Yep.
Because there's all kinds of weird emotions and processing you got to do with all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
hey man, glad you're here. The worst was, and the guy meant well. He really meant well. But I'm literally at a meeting. I'm back to the company, and I was still living down in Louisville. And this guy that's running the training that we're at, he's like, we're all right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break. Hey Steve, there's something I actually want to show you, man. We got a new piece of equipment out back. I wanted to show you. So we walk out back to the plant, and he just launches into this long dissertation about, dude, I know you're going through a lot, man. It means so much that you're here, and like just really diving into it. I'm like, dude, I'm literally just trying to make it through this meeting, and having a big bro moment was not what I wanted. And you start to learn after a while that you're not being consoled. You are consoling the people that couldn't process it.
Yeah.
The more people approach you, it's like, especially if they knew the folks that had passed, it's like, I'm almost 99% of the time, I wasn't getting any healing from it. If anything, it's like someone's picking at my scab that I don't want them to pick at,
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you're helping them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's different in everyone's situation, right? And like, yeah, in that situation, you're like, yeah, I'm just trying to make it through, and then you're like, then you have to flood these crazy flood of emotions, like, oh, it's really nice this person cares about me, or maybe, or whatever, or, however this is happening, or whatever, and it's like, yeah, I've run into that a lot, and I had a similar situation when my mom passed, and that was tough, and just to have people be like, in that space, it's like, like I don't want to try, and I'm not trying to break down every time somebody mentions it. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to get through my day and get to my girlfriend at the end of the day and like talk to her about it. And like, that's all I'm trying to do. Like, make it one day at a time, man. But I don't know. It is tough too, because like a lot of people will think much higher of their relationship with you than you may too. So it does almost become like a thing, like you're kind of babying that relationship, even if you're not in that space with them,
Right.
So that's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a random encounter I had. Again, I was at a corporate training. I was all the way out in Denver, and the only flight I could get that was within our budget, because we had to stay within a certain travel budget.
Yeah.
I had to leave for the airport at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
And it was in winter, so there was a fair amount of snow that had come down, and car pulls up, I get in, and this girl that's driving, she's like, just so you know, the main route is not safe. They have plow trucks out, but if we take the back road, there's a state route that's like a 2-lane highway.
Yeah.
It's actually in good condition, but if that's not cool with you, if you would rather risk it, I'm not your driver. I'm like, it's fine with me. Let's get there safe.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm leaving extra early to just make sure I get there on time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she ended up getting a whole level of conversation out of me that I hadn't really had with anyone at that point about what was going on.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, at this point, I'm like, well, what do I have to lose? Random Uber driver, I'll probably never see again. And she gave me some good advice and kind of hit me with a reality check on some stuff.
Mm.
And the one thing that she had said, as far as a learning to process things and learning to handle things and learning to heal and move forward, was there's a certain point where, you hear a random song and you break down. A random memory comes up, or you find a photo and you lose it. That'll happen the rest of your life. It becomes less frequent, but she said, if you know that a thing's coming up, or that you're feeling a certain kind of way where you're going to need time to process, is that tell yourself, okay, tonight when I get home from work, going to finish dinner, going to put away, the dishes or, whatever chores. 9 o'clock tonight is my time to grieve. I'm going to go play the songs. I'm going to go look at the photos. I'm going to go do the stuff. Whatever I got to do to process, that is when I get to grieve.
Yeah.
And when she changed that mentality of like, it's like the surprise attack to like, this is when I'm going to do it, that helped with sort of that path forward.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's like, I don't know. You'll still catch those random moments that you weren't preparing for. You had no idea were coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kind of roll with those. And they typically don't last as long as they used to, by any means.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Stuff never leaves you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what doesn't kill you make you stronger too, right?
I guess so. Well, I think this is going to replace our Reddit segment where we give advice, because we're going on 2 hours here, friends. I really do appreciate you all hanging out. If you are in the Saratoga area, please swing by and see James at Sketching the Beast. He is at Sketching the Beast, wherever you can find him. Is there anything else you got going on, James, you want to share before we bounce out?
Not right now, man. Not right now.
Excellent.
Show.
Excellent. And guys, if you're out in the Chicago area, swing by Rosemont for Nightmare Weekend Chicago. I'll be out there. And then in a couple weeks, I'll be telling you more about it later, but I will be at Motor City in Novi near Detroit. So guys, Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Peace. Later, guys.
I pushed all the wrong buttons.
Yeah, it was a weird